Hey, what's up everyone? It's a Tastemaker and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to do a chit chat, get ready with me. I'm going to talk about a couple of things that are on my mind. But before we get into that, I did want to tell you about today's hair and who it came from. So this hair is from Recool. This is their deep wave texture hair. This is a curly unit that I made. This is a closure wig unit on top of that. I did bleach the knots on this unit and I plucked it a little bit in the front, but you know, nothing too crazy. Threw in some quick baby hairs or whatever. And then this is the hair. It is a little bit wet right now, but it is like semi-dry. I really like this hair. I haven't received like any tangling or shedding. Like even while the hair was wet, it was very easy to comb out. There was a little bit of shedding, but that's kind of expected with curly hair. And this is the hair up close. This is a 16-inch closure. I have in an 18-inch bundle, 20 and 22. So this is 3 bundles and a closure. And this is all of the hair up front. It was a lot bigger before I co-washed it. But the texture is kind of similar, but obviously, you know, it's still kind of wet right now. I kind of like it better when it's like dry and kind of like fluffed out a little bit, but I absolutely love this hair. I feel like it makes me look very exotic. So I have on like this little cheetah dress or whatever. And I have in some contacts. Obviously, these are not my real eyes. I will give you guys details on these contacts in another video, but I did want to pop them in for this hair. So if you guys like this look and you want to see how I got it, then definitely continue watching. Once again, this hair is from Recool and you can find the link to it down below. Hey, what's up you guys? So today I want to film a get ready with me because I haven't done one in a minute. And I got some new hair from Recool. I did bleach the closure and everything. This is a closure unit that I made. So what I'm gonna do right now is just do my makeup on camera with you guys. I do have contacts in, so that's the thing that is different about me. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is just like clean up my eyebrows or whatever. So I did them, but obviously I need to use some concealer. So I'm gonna use this flat like concealer brush that I got from Sephora. It is dirty, so whatever. Let me see, how can I scoot up some for y'all? Okay, that's a little bit better. So put my hair back. So first thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about, I am using the LA Girl Pro Concealer. I'm gonna put it on the back of my hand because that's what I do. So the first thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about is just like people on their doggone phones. So yesterday I was going to go do a little store run. It's so hard for me to talk and do my eyebrows. I don't even know why I'm trying to do this right now. Hold on. So yesterday I was going to go meet up with Tyler, and like so basically I was pulling off of my street onto like this main street or whatever, and then there's like a light right there. So it was a lady coming behind me in a minivan, and girl, I'm looking out of my rear view mirror. She did not once look up. Actually, like she's literally on her phone driving behind me, like it's a red light, so everybody stopped, and like she wasn't stopping, like she was just kept moving up, so I kept moving up. I'm like, what the hell? She basically almost like crashed into the back of my car. Like the whole time that she's stopping, she's looking at her phone while she's pushing on the brake, but she's not pushing on the brake all the way, so that car is still going. And so I like honked at her to like get her attention, but obviously I'm in front of her, so she was just so absent-minded. And I'm just like, that is so dangerous. Like, I mean, obviously we all get on our phones while we drive. Like, I'm guilty of it. Like, I'm not about to sit here and say like, oh, I don't be on my phone and drive, because I snap and drive. I be on Instagram, my Instagram story, and I be driving. You know, I take pictures and selfies and stuff while I'm driving. I ain't gonna lie, I do that. But I still pay attention to my surroundings. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm very mindful of who's in front of me. And then the cold part about it was she had a kid in her car with her. The kid had been at least like 7 or 8 years old in the front seat. Now, maybe I'm old school, call it what you want, but I wasn't even able to sit in the front seat of the car until I was like, I want to say like 12 years old. Like I was like 11 or 12 years old. But when I was like a little kid, you was sitting in the back seat, okay? You was not sitting in the front seat of the car. And isn't that a law? Like, isn't there a law with that kind of stuff? But it like really made me even more mad once I saw that she had a kid in the car. Like, bitch, what are you doing? You about to, and then if you run into the back of my car, you're obviously gonna be the one that's gonna pay for it when the insurance people get involved. Cause you rear-ended me. That's automatic your fault. Like, that's crazy. So anyway, I picked Tyler up and then we go to the post office or whatever, right? So we like drive into the post office and we go down like this residential street because like the main street that we was on, it was kind of crowded. So I just took like a little shortcut. So I turned down this street and it's a FedEx guy. Can y'all see me? There we go. So I turned down this street and there's a FedEx guy, and this guy is on his phone walking into the street with his little cart. The cart was empty, but he's literally walking down into the street on his phone like this. And I had to honk at him to get his attention because I almost hit his ass. Like, bro, how are you walking out into the middle of the street? Like, how the fuck are you walking out in the middle of the street and you're not even paying attention? You could have got easily hit. Like, if I wasn't paying attention and I was also on my phone, he would have got hit that day. Like, that is just so crazy to me. Like, don't get me wrong, like, I love my social media, but I just feel like we need to be very careful and be more responsible. Like, whatever is online is really not that important. If you're watching my video right now and you're driving or you're walking down the street or something, like, just look up right now and pay attention to your surroundings. Because you don't know what the heck can happen. Like, it just really upset me seeing that. I'm like, wow, the world is just, like, we're zombies. Okay, so now we have our base down or whatever. My skin is looking really good. I haven't really done anything. I do want to do like a skincare routine with you guys based off of stuff that you guys have recommended to me, because a lot of you guys have been recommending things to me to do for my skin. One of you guys was an esthetician and told me that I was basically dehydrated. So I tried drinking more water, but I think a problem is also that I drink a lot of coffee, which will dehydrate you. So I know that's not helping. Right now I'm just using some foundation to like do the top part of my brows. Another thing that's really been on my mind. So the other day, I was watching this Dame Dash interview. For those, I mean, most of you guys should know who Dame Dash is. If you don't know who he is, that means that you're like a child. And all the, oh, that's another thing I gotta talk to you about real quick. Okay, before I get on Dame Dash, let me tell you about this situation that happened to me at 7-Eleven the other day. And I was just so baffled. I was like, what the hell? So I was at 7-Eleven getting my morning cup of coffee like I do every morning. I love getting my coffee from 7-Eleven. It's something about their coffee I just love. Anyway, so while I was like in line or whatever, there was this older guy who was in front of me. He had to been at least like 60 years old or something. Like, he was somebody's grandpa for sure. It was no mistaking that. So this guy turns around, like I'm like next in line. He literally turns around and says like, oh my gosh, aren't you cute for a 15-year-old? No, that's not what he said. He was like, aren't you cute for 15? I was like, 15? Sir, I'm 26. And he was like, oh, you're 26? And then the guy behind the register, he was like, what, you're 26? I'm like, yeah. He was like, oh, when's your birthday? Da, da, da. Like, nigga, I told him my birthday, but like, what the fuck does that have to do with anything? I'm not about to sit here and lie. Who gonna lie about 26? Like, 26 is not the age to lie about. If I would have said like I'm like 21 or 22 or something like that, but like 26, like, girl, I'm getting up there. Who's gonna lie about being 26? I don't know. Especially if they look younger. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to go that old. I'm not saying I'm old, but you know, hey. Anyway. Oh, damn, I messed up my tail looking at y'all. But the guy's face, the way he was looking at me when he thought I was 15, I just thought that was crazy. I'm like, see, y'all be talking about R. Kelly and all this stuff like that and not realizing like that's a part of our culture. Which is really sad and sick, but like this is a part of our culture. And it's not just like, you know, black people, it's Latino people too. Like Latino men, the older ones, they be doing stuff like that. Like, they be looking at young girls that, cause you know, in Mexico, they get married. You can get married really early in Mexico, okay? Like, and just like, I don't know in other states and stuff like that, but here in LA, like obviously like this is their land. Like, let's just be real about it. But they love young girls. Cause even when I was younger, I used to get hit on by older like Hispanic men. They be trying to talk to me and stuff. Girl, crazy. So eyebrows are on, eyeshadow base is done. My skin is looking really good right now. I like how my skin is looking on camera. So anyway, moving along, Dame Dash. So the other day I was watching this interview with Nick Cannon and Dame Dash, right? So they were like, one thing that I noticed about Dame Dash, and like, oh, by the way, I'm using my Morphe 3502 palette, the one I always use. I'm using this brown color at the top here, and I'm just gonna put that right here in this part, like the outer V or whatever. So yeah, so Dame Dash, he had this interview with Nick Cannon, and they were he like, one thing I noticed about him is he always talks about entrepreneurship, and he talks about how, like, you know, you should want to own the building, you shouldn't want to, you know, work for somebody your whole life. Like, he kind of talks down on people that work a 9 to 5, right? Now listen, I am not saying there's anything wrong with being an entrepreneur. I think that's great. But what I also want to point out is the fact that everybody is not meant to be an entrepreneur. And I feel like in this day and age of social media, people look at entrepreneurship as if it's like an easy thing to do and like everybody can do it. Maybe if I back up, you guys can see a little bit. Anyway, but like my whole thing is like, I don't feel like everybody is meant to be an entrepreneur. Like, everybody can't be a boss. Some people have to work for somebody. Like, if you're a boss, you have, if everybody's a boss, who's gonna do any work? Because bosses don't like doing shit. Let's just be real. They don't like to do anything. So it's like, who's gonna work for your company if you're encouraging everyone to be a boss? Because everybody can't be a boss. Not everybody is meant to or built to be a boss. Some people are meant to take orders. Now, for me personally, ever since I was a child, I've always had like that leadership mentality. You know how like you're in school and your teacher's like, oh, you guys need to break up into groups, and you know, you guys need a team leader, blah, blah, blah. Like, I was always the leader of my team. Always. That's just how it was for me. So for me, it's almost like innate. And one thing about me is I've always been a hustler. I come from a family of hustlers. Like, my mama, she did hair. She had her own hair salon, like, from a young age. Like, I would see my mom making money. My mom never had a boss, never, until now that she's older. And the only reason why she's working for somebody now is because obviously, you know, when you get older, it's very difficult to keep trying to do hair, you know, when you're in your 50s and 60s, because, you know, you get, you know, your hands can get carpal tunnel and all kinds of things. And also, she can't stand up on her feet as long as she used to be. But, you know, like you guys saw in my last vlog, like, I was at my sister's hair salon. Like, I come from a family of like bosses, so it's only right for me to want to be my own boss and do hair. Now I'm gonna get this flat brush or whatever, and I'm going to grab this nude color in here. It's like this one right here. I don't know if you guys can see that. This one here. So I'm just gonna grab that, and I'm actually gonna get a little bit more concealer and put some concealer on my eyelids. But yeah, so he's always talking about that, but I just want to point out the fact that, like, I feel like social media, going back to social media, I feel like social media makes people think that, like, being an entrepreneur and opening up your own store or service or whatever is easy and simple to do. But it's really not. It's very difficult to run a business, you know, a successful business. And there's so many like legal things that go into it. You can't just like buy some stuff off of Aliexpress, get a big cartel website and just launch a website. Like, no. There's so much more that goes into running a business. And some people are not meant for that. Like, some people have to be told what to do. Some people can't just get up on their own and just be like, okay, I need to be doing this, this, and this today. I need to do this, this, and this to market my business. You know, I gotta find, you know, I just don't feel like it's for everybody. And I don't feel like people should be feeling bad about wanting to work. Like, if you want to work for a company and you're comfortable with working for that company for however many years, then that's your freaking prerogative. You can do what you want to do. Don't let anybody make you feel bad about your life decisions. Like, if you really loved work, like, say you're into law, okay? but you don't necessarily want your own law firm. That's okay. You don't have to have your own law firm. You can totally work under somebody else. Just whatever it is that you want to do in life, do what you want to do, and don't let anybody deter you from doing that. If you really want to open up your own business, if that's something that you're passionate about, then by all means, go for it. I'm rooting you on. But make sure you are doing your research and you get as much information as you need in order to know how to do whatever it is you're trying to do. Because a lot of people go into running their own business, and then you end up making so many mistakes because you had no idea, and nobody is really telling you the real about being an entrepreneur. So as you guys know, I was fired back in November, right? And you know, a lot of people had hit me up after, you know, that video saying like how inspired they were and saying that they quit their jobs to be full-time YouTubers. What you guys have to understand is I did not quit my job to be a full-time YouTuber. I was fired and I had no choice but to hustle. Period. That's what happened. So I'm not encouraging anybody to quit their jobs and do what I'm doing, because you're not in my position and you don't know the full story. You don't know what I be going through. You know what I mean? Like, you guys only know a part of this story. There are times when, yeah, okay, I'm working for myself, but the downside to being an entrepreneur that a lot of people don't talk about is that your money is unpredictable. When you have a job, you know every week you're gonna get paid X amount of dollars. So you know how to make your next move, because you're like, okay, I'm about to get this amount of money, I'm gonna pay the cable bill, this, and this with this, and then I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z later. You know that because you have a steady income. You know exactly how much money you're gonna get. But when you're an entrepreneur, you don't know when you're gonna get your next dollar. Perfect example. You can have a sponsored video, right? You can have a sponsored video, but the sponsor, let me get my color back. I gotta put my hand right here so I can have color. But you can do a sponsor video and the sponsor doesn't, like, you could do the whole video and everything. The sponsor says they're gonna pay you X amount of dollars, and then you upload the video and then you can't even get in contact with that sponsor anymore. You get what I'm saying? So it can be things like that. But you thought for a fact like, oh, okay, I'm gonna get paid X amount of dollars from this sponsor. But then you can't get in contact with them. They're nowhere to be found. They don't reply to your emails, and basically you just asked out. Like you asked out. You don't have that money. So then you gotta figure out, okay, well, what's next? So one thing about being an entrepreneur is that even being an entrepreneur, you can't just depend on one thing. You can't just depend on one business. So I am using the Morphe gel liner and this double-sided Morphe brush. This is the Morphe R44. But that's something that people don't talk about. There's times when I make a lot of money and I'm like, okay, cool, I'm about to be straight. And then there's other times where I don't make that much money that month. You get what I'm saying? So one month I may make like a couple thousand, and the next month I only make like 1,000. You get what I'm saying? So the money fluctuates. It goes up and it goes down. You have good times and then you have like okay times. But just like, and then a lot of people will quit. A lot of people don't have the determination to like just keep going, because even YouTube by itself can be very discouraging. You know, you can put in hours and hours on developing content, record a video. It took you X amount of times to even get the video up. You could have worked really hard on it. You could have been very confident about it. You thought it was just gonna do great, but it don't barely get any views. So then you feel like, damn, well, what the fuck did I do all that hard work for? And that's just the reality of YouTube. Like, people will sit on YouTube and be like, oh yeah, I got this sponsor deal, I got this and this going on, but it's unpredictable. Your money is not always gonna be, it's always not gonna be a lot of money. And on top of that, you have to know how to hustle being a full-time YouTuber. It's not just, oh, I'm about to upload a bunch of videos and make a bunch of money. That's not how it works. I have more than one way of making money being a YouTuber. But that's something that a lot of people ain't gonna tell y'all about. They're not gonna talk about that. People don't even have the mentality to know how to save money. One upside to me is I worked in finance for the past, I don't know, I worked in finance since 2014. So like 4 years. So I know how to manage money. as far as business is concerned, I went to college for fashion merchandising, which is the business side of fashion. So I know how to handle certain things. And I worked in, you know, accounts receivable for the past 4 years, which deals with numbers and a company's income. So I'm basically an accountant. So that's why for me it's different. So that's why I just want to tell a lot of people, don't look at people on the internet and just feel like, you know, it's great to be inspired, but just make sure you have all the pieces to the puzzle before you end up making, you know, a decision that may, you know, negatively affect your life, because you don't know what you're getting yourself into. I always like to be very transparent with you guys and just tell you guys the reality of things, because a lot of people will just feed you a dream, sell you a dream. And I encourage everybody to go after everything it is in life that you want to do. If you want to be a full-time YouTuber, by all means, go ahead and do it. But just make sure you have all your eggs in a row, your ducks lined up. And for sure, make sure you know how to manage money. Because what'll happen is, you'll get excited about making a lot of money and end up spending a bunch of your money on some BS. Because you get excited. So then you like, oh, I'm about to go buy this designer bag. I'm about to go do this. I'm about to plan a trip. And you're going to end up spending all your money. And then you're going to be looking back like, dang, like where's my money? Where did my money go? One thing about me is, even when I didn't have a job, I've always been a hustler. Always, always. I've never had a moment, even when I wasn't working, that I was ever broke. Because I would figure out a way to make some money. And nowadays, with social media and your phone and everything, there's a lot of ways for you to make money. You can be an Uber driver, you can be a Lyft driver, you can do Postmates. I used to do Postmates. You know, the delivery people? And I made so much money doing Postmates. And I was like doing it like randomly. Like I would do it like here and there for like 3-4 hours or whatever. And the 3 and 4 hours, they go by so fast. And then you do it for a couple days in a row. You can eat, and plus you get tips. Some people tip you in cash, or some people just tip you in an app. And then most of the time, people are gonna give you a tip, especially depending on what area you do deliveries in. Like when I did it, I would do deliveries in the Hollywood area, North Hollywood, just up that way, up north, because that's where people with the money are. And people with money always tip. That's one thing that I know for a fact. They always tip, and they're always really nice. Well, let me not say that, because they're not always nice. They, you know, but it's just such a quick little interaction. But yeah, I used to do Postmates, and I was making like a couple $100s a week. And then while I was doing Postmates, I also had a Poshmark store. So I was selling like my old clothes and stuff on Poshmark, like clothes and shoes that I couldn't fit anymore. I would sell them on Poshmark. So I would be out doing deliveries and then making sales on Poshmark. So I had 2 incomes coming in. And that's what I would do. And then on top of that, I always make sure I have savings. Because when I wasn't even when I had a job, I always make sure I have money saved up. It's so important to save your money. I'd rather have money saved up and be able to look at money in my account than to be able to look at my closet at a bunch of things that, you know, I could wear. But shit, you could wear it, but you can't pay for, you know, your rent and clothes. You can't go to your management office and be like, oh, I got these pants. Can I pay for my rent and these pants that I bought? They brand new, they still got the tag on it. No. So now the next thing that I'm gonna do is my foundation. If you were guessing, no, I do not have foundation on. This is just my skin. It's getting back clear again. It's looking good. So I'm just gonna use this NYX HD photo primer, I don't know, whatever. So just put a little bit of this primer on, and then we're gonna go ahead and do our foundation. I'm gonna take my nose ring out for now. Oh, I'm tripping, I didn't even put my eyelashes on. I'm gonna put my eyelashes on, and then I'll be back because I have to use a blow dryer for that, and I know you guys don't want to hear that. It's really loud. Okay guys, so my lashes are on, so now I can go ahead and do my foundation. The foundation that I use is the Wet n Wild Espresso foundation, of course. My favorite. I just read up on this the other day. I went to Walgreens to get this. Whatever. You guys know I did like a get ready with me before, and I put on contacts, but like it was so difficult to get those contacts on. But these ones, I guess since I had so much practice that time, I learned how to like put them in, and like it's actually really easy to put them in now. But like that first time I tried to put contacts in, oh my gosh, it was worse. Like my eyes were so red and irritated because I didn't know what I was doing. So yeah, it's always important when you do foundation to make sure you get your neck, because you know, you don't want your face to look one way and your neck to look completely different. You know what I'm saying? You want to be unclockable, sis. I mean, obviously you have foundation on, but still, like, just because you have foundation on doesn't mean everybody needs to know when it ends and begins. But yeah, I only use foundation and concealer. Personal preference, you don't have to. So the concealer that I'm going to use today is Fawn, and then I'm also going to use Cool Tan, because Cool Tan is a little bit lighter, and I like to look really bright underneath my eyes. So that's just what I do. So it's already February, which is crazy because it's like, dude, wasn't we just saying Happy New Year? So it's already February, and I just want to know, like, how are you guys doing as far as like your goals? Are you guys on top of them? Have you guys been slacking? Like, the most important thing about like achieving any goal is just to make sure that you not only have a goal, but just like make sure you also have like a plan, and make sure you're like doing something every day on that list. If I want to reach a certain amount of subscribers, and I have to figure out like, okay, what kinds of videos get a lot of views? What are the kind of things, you know what I mean? Although YouTube is quite difficult, I'm not gonna lie, it's really hard to grow on YouTube. Like, I noticed like certain kinds of videos of mine get a lot of views, but I also like doing videos that I like, you know? Like, I don't want to do things just for views. Like, I want people to like genuinely watch me for me, because they like me. So, but I just feel like as long as I just keep going, I think I'm doing pretty good. As long as I just keep doing what I'm doing and keep pumping these videos out and being creative and, you know, being more active on my social media, I think I'm going to be okay. And it's going to take time. I was going to use this other concealer, but I think this is good enough. I don't want to look too, well, actually, because on camera it looks one way, but in person it looks another. Like, let me see if I can get my actual color. You see, it kind of looks like all one color. So I am going to lighten it up just a little bit with Cool Tan. I'm like running out of this stuff. This lasts for a really long time, by the way. So if you ever wanted to buy the big one and you're like, do I need this one? Just get it. It lasts so long. Yeah, I like a super like highlighted look. Yeah. And I just use this Smashbox mascara. It's like super dirty on the outside, but I don't care. But you know, I wish everybody a very prosperous year. You know, I hope that all of us win in whatever way that winning means to you. Whatever winning is to you, I hope that you get that. You know, if winning means getting a car and getting off the bus, I hope you win. If winning means graduating and finally getting that degree you've been working so hard for, I hope you win. Don't ever feel like you have to live how people live on social media, because it's all a facade. A lot of people like to look like they're living rich, but a lot of people are not living like that. A lot of times people will sit here and make you feel bad about your life, like they just living the best life. And then look at the Claremont twins for a perfect example. Like, don't get me wrong, I love the Claremont twins. But like, one of them was like, you know, selling you know what. And they got all these designer bags and stuff. They get all these modeling gigs. It's like, girl, you modeling, so why you have to sell, you know, your body for money? But live your best life. Don't try to live like nobody else. because the people that you think is living like that, they ain't even living like that, okay? They are not living like that. And then that life is just, it's not even that exciting. Let me tell you something. I worked in Beverly Hills for 4 freaking years, okay? Right on Camden Drive, okay? That's the block after Rodeo Drive, okay? I work right there. I literally walk down Rodeo Drive, getting off of the bus every day to go to work. And those people that I work with were so rich, like actually rich. Wore the same outfit every day, wore some busted tennis shoes, but when they walking out of that door, they leaving in a brand new Ferrari, okay? Bentleys, stuff like that. But they dress like whatever, like they dress in like weird clothes, like they look crazy. But it don't matter because they the ones that really got the money. So you guys, this is a finished look. Just my everyday cute little look. This hair, once again, is from Recool. This is their deep wave hair. I have in a 16-inch closure, 18, 20, 22. And then I'll stand up a little bit so you guys can see where it's hitting me. Like basically the middle of my back. Okay. So yeah, I absolutely love this hair. It's very exotic, as you guys can see. This is a closure, you know, I just bleached it, so that's why it looks like super natural or whatever. And I just threw in some baby hairs real quick. And then that's pretty much it, you guys. I threw on some contacts so that it looks like even more exotic. I probably should put some hoop earrings in instead of wearing these stud earrings, but you know. I hope you guys liked our little chit chat today. If you guys like this hair, I will leave the link down below for you guys to check it out. I absolutely love it.